a production of the New Jersey courts.
Every day, judges ask attorneys to take on work that may be difficult, time-consuming, or emotionally draining, and to do so without being paid. Despite the demands of their legal practice, attorneys accept these assignments and perform them with diligence, zeal, and professionalism. In this video, you'll meet a few of those attorneys. They'll talk about what pro bono legal service means to them and why our justice system depends on people who provide free legal services to those who need an attorney but can't afford one. Some pro bono attorneys represent incapacitated persons and end up accepting guardianship appointments when there is no one else available. Others represent biological parents in emotionally charged adoption cases. Still others serve the court by routinely representing litigants who struggle with mental health issues. These are individuals who choose to do what is right and good when no one is watching. Their selfless efforts reflect the very best of the legal profession.
Judges have asked me to do work over the course of the years for individuals in need of assistance that can't afford it. I find it extremely rewarding to help people that are in the system, because the system is onerous at the very best, and to guide them and to help them. It's what we're supposed to do. Today, unfortunately, attorneys look at what we do as a business. I was taught that what we do is a profession. And as a profession, I think that we have an obligation to give back, to help, and that's what you do as a profession. The money is really secondary when it comes to what we do, and it's imperative that people have a good feeling about the system and how it works, and so that's what I do.
I started doing guardianships approximately 1993. And not intentionally, I probably have told 10 to a dozen judges, if you're stuck on a case for either a court-appointed attorney or a guardian, I'll help. Meaning a lot of guardianships, there's no money. So I've always felt very lucky that I could help. There was a time someone changed their diaper, someone had their first birthday party, second birthday party, hugged them, kissed them, bathed them, made sure they were clean, got them off to school, and now here they are with no one.
I became an attorney really to advocate for those who can't advocate for themselves. And doing these kind of appointments gave me the availability and the opportunity to fulfill what I wanted to do. And obviously in the legal profession, we have the clients that are willing to pay and can pay, and those who can't and deserve and need someone to protect their rights as individuals and protect them against other people who could harm them. So I find fulfillment in that. It reminds me why I went to law school. It reminds me why I became an attorney, and it just gives me a better feeling at the end of the day that I made someone's life better.
You know, the immigrants that I represent, many of them, they have these little problems, and you can't afford to hire an attorney for that. A lot of times things are about they work for someone and don't get paid. You know, they'll get paid for the first 5 months they work there, and then when the job's kind of ending, the person has a habit of not paying the last 2 or 3 weeks, so they're owed anywhere from $1,000 to $2,000, which is really not worth it for an attorney to take that at all. It's not even close. But for them, that's a lot of money. And a lot of times, that, you know, some of that money is being sent back to their native country to feed someone, or to pay their rent, or to feed them. So it's a big issue for them. Yeah, I happen to think I'm very fortunate that I make a living helping people.
I've been working with New Jersey Legal Services for probably 10 to 11 years now. I do a lot of work in the surrogates courts. I've done the bankruptcy, and kind of when they reach out to me, I try to help them as best I can. I'm not a litigator, and I do not do a lot of litigation work, except in this last case. they had me litigating. It's a contested adoption. We went through a lengthy trial. We interviewed, did depositions, and finally, at the end of the trial, he was awarded his son back. And his son has been living with him since, I guess, the beginning of July, and had his first birthday party with him, and they're enjoying each other's company. If you could see the look on my client's face when he was told he'd be able to get his son back, that's like the best thing in the world that could happen to me. Knowing that I was able to help someone that quite possibly would not have gotten his son back without my assistance. He had no money to afford an attorney, and he was not navigating the legal system very well at all. And there are just so many people out there that, because of their economic situation and their status, they are treated, say, unfairly or unequally in the legal system, not necessarily intentionally, but because they do not know how to navigate the legal system. So watching them navigate it and watching them get results that are positive is very, very satisfactory to me.
When I clerked for Judge Harry Margolis from 1989 to 1990 in the Chancery Court, part of the clerk's responsibilities was lining up attorneys who could handle emergent medical guardianship matters for the hospitals in Essex County. So that's what I did, and what I did for the judges, I created a schedule so we had at least 3 attorneys committed to being on call for that particular week. 28 years later, I'm still doing that for the serial judges that have been on the bench in Chancery in Essex since Judge Margolis. It's something I really enjoy doing. I do a lot of it, and as I've told all the judges in Essex County, if any of the 3 are not available, call me. I'm a 4th. I'm happy to cover it. I find the work to be incredibly important because you're helping a vulnerable individual who can't help themselves, or they don't have a family member that can help them. So that's why I think it's so important to do. And for me, it's very gratifying if I can help somebody and make their life better.
I've done all kinds of pro bono work, from municipal court appeals to municipal court cases to the most recent one representing an individual in a private adoption matter. As time went on, some of these cases became more about helping people who are disadvantaged, helping people who don't have the resources that other people have, because honestly, to hire a lawyer is an expensive endeavor, and not everybody can afford to do that. But in a lot of these cases, the stakes are very high. When you're talking, in some of them, incarceration, you're talking jail time, you're talking significant losses, especially in terms of one's parental rights. I don't think you can suffer much greater harm than the loss of your parental rights.
This is my 50th year of practice. But over the years, I've been appointed by the family part or the Chancery Division or the probate part in cases where people are bringing an action to have someone declared incapacitated. And in many instances, they don't have the ability to understand what's going on. And they don't have the ability to get the help that they need because they don't know where to go. I get great satisfaction out of helping people, especially people who need help.
I've helped the court out with several people who don't understand the process due to mental illness. There was another gentleman who was about to be evicted, and Judge Bellegarde appointed me to work with him, and I cut a deal with the landlord that would have allowed him to stay in his apartment. I think it's very important, because, you're given a license, which is, something from the state that gives you an exclusive right to practice law, and I think you have a duty to give back to the community. And it's not all about just making money for yourself. There is some giving back, and I think that's part of giving back. You're just doing what's right, and getting the job done, and that's good.